Good morning. Good morning. I have quite a few things going on in my head to share with you this morning. Um, One of them particularly important, I think, is something that we kind of joked about early on, sometime in March, is, when we start to move back into a schedule that looks a little bit more like it used to look. Things start to open back up. Can we please be careful not to get amnesia about how our time has been spent and things that we've learned about ourselves and each other and the kind of commitment that we made to each other when we first started to separate, and what it felt like to connect with each other in a way that we still felt the love and the support. And I feel like that amnesia is starting to happen already. I feel like that feeling of judgment of, oh, somebody, is not wearing a mask, or somebody's doing this that I wouldn't do, or somebody's acting this way that I wouldn't act, or all of these kind of conceived ideas of what we believe to be true and what somebody else believes to be true, or somebody else's actions versus our actions, or what kind of unites us and what divides us. And I think that it's very important to stay connected and committed to the idea that, we're all one, that this connection that we have as yogis knows that each one of us has a particular offering and has a particular way of being. I've taught for many, many years that each one of us has a role to play. My guru, Swami Satchidananda, would say that everyone is on a stage and they're all playing their role. And somebody's going to play the bad guy, and somebody's going to play this role and that role. And we just pray that everyone plays their role very, very well. And so that's where we unite. We would come back together as we understand that everyone is playing the role they need to play. And so as we move into maybe places that are opening or us reconnecting or reuniting, can we stay in that place that allows us to come back to the fact that we're all one? And, the word namaste that we say, the word om that we say, the mantra loka samasta sukhino bhavantu that we say, are just connecting us back to that space where you're one, we're one. If we can come back to that space in the heart, we connect back to that oneness. I was reminded of Ram Dass. I was reading from his Polishing the Mirror this morning, and he gives this wonderful translation of Namaste, which I've always loved. I use it a lot when I'm teaching children's yoga, is I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. I honor the place in you of love and light and truth and peace. I honor the place in you where if you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, then there is just one of us. There's just one of us. And so that judging of another person, that complaining that this person or that person, can we come back to the idea that each person is playing their role? And if I truly come back to myself, then I'll realize that you're me and I'm you, and there's no difference. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and close your eyes. What does it feel like inside of ourselves when we're divided? And what does it feel like inside of ourselves when we're united? And united doesn't mean that we have to agree. United doesn't have to mean that, I would do what you're doing, but I allow you to do what you're doing without that consistent judgment and criticism, right? What does it feel like when you're open, and what does it feel like when you close? What does it feel like when you expand from the inside? And what does it feel like when you contract? What is that amnesia that we're getting, that all this time spent over these weeks, and we've learned how to love at such a big level? What's happening? Where are we moving away from that? And where are we moving closer to that? And what in this entire feeling allows you to remember who you are, that you matter? And if you matter, so does everyone else. Just take a moment, take a couple of deep breaths here. What divides us and what allows that conversation to continue? I am convinced that on the outside that there will be this pull and this draw to divide us. But we have our practice which unites us. And can we remember that? Your hands together at your heart center. The sound of Om. I was speaking about the Mandukya Upanishad on Tuesday. And the word Om is one of those words that reunites us, that reconnects us, that reminds us of our interconnectedness. No matter what our actions are on the outside, we are all connected. Nature, animals, all beings everywhere. Inhale for the sound of Om. Loka, try. Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Loka, Samasta, Sukhino, Bhavantu. Releasing your hands down. Change your cross of your leg so the other leg comes in front. And I want you to begin with alternate nostril breathing this morning. So you can take your right hand, make a gentle fist, extend your thumb and your last two fingers. Close off your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale through your left nostril. Closing off your left nostril with your ring finger, exhaling through your right nostril. Inhaling through the right and exhaling through the left. Closing the eyes if you haven't yet and continue alternate nostril breathing. In through one nostril, out through the other. This is a perfect breath to reunite, reconnect. Establish that connection back to source. Soften all your edges. Trust that everything is happening for a reason. And I again promise you there will be great division trying to work at us, to separate us. But keep reminding yourself to unite, to come back. If it's challenging to have your hand there, you can always do it alternate nostril breathing with your mind in through one nostril, out through the other. Balancing right and left, feminine, masculine, fire energy and that airspace energy. Bringing it back to that space of the third eye, where all comes back to the same. Reconnect. Good. Just another 30 seconds here. Just see how you feel as you exhale here and release your hand down. Just see how you feel for a moment, how the mind feels. And 30 seconds to a minute of alternate nostril breathing, reuniting, coming back to the one. And then see what it feels like when you're judging and criticizing and they're doing it different than I'm doing. A lot of energy. Good. If you have the Spotify playlist, you want to put it on now, go for it. And then we'll go ahead and come on up to our hands and knees and begin to do some cat and cow. Does everybody still have the link? Did you see the link? If you didn't, let me know and I'll re-put it up. Okay. And once you're ready, come on up and find your cat and cow. Good. Roll your breath through the spine. So in the Upanishads, the great teachings of our practice of yoga, it teaches on samsara, the Upanishads. This word translates to transformation or a place of wandering through your transformations. And we remember that we're transforming in every moment. We're wandering through this world, transforming ourselves in every moment. And that's going to take someone who's going to be opposite of who we are. That push and pull, right? That place where we stand up for what we believe in. But we do it with love, not with weapons of hate. So samsara is our first teaching. It defines this wandering through life where that you can never kill, but you can transform. Every death of the day is a transformation of a new morning. Every death of a breath is a transformation of a new exhale to inhale. Downward facing dog, you guys. And go ahead and bend your knees deeply here. Anybody else having low back stuff? Yeah, me too. I've been having this real big low back stuff lately too. So keep your knees bent here. Yeah. Keep your knees bent. And now push your hips as high as you can. Keep your knees bent and push your hips as high as you can. Good. Now walk your feet up to your hands, standing forward bend. And again, bend your knees deeply. Make sure your feet are pointing straight ahead. Placing your hands on either the floor or some blocks. Knees are bent. Shins are drawing in toward each other. Inner knees are wide. And keeping your knees bent, push your hips high to the sky. Keep your knees bent. Lift your seat, widen your sit bones like crazy. Good, now start to straighten the legs. Good, now bend your knees again deeply. And then reach your arms forward and up chair. Now place your hands on your thighs, cat-cow, here. So the first teaching is samsara, right? That wandering, the transforming ourselves. The second teaching that comes up in the Upanishads is karma, our gracious action, our work that we're doing here, what's taking place today that's creating tomorrow. And so any sense of emotion that's creating me against you, creates that in the future. But me with you, me and you. Good, now touch back down to the floor. Bend your knees again. Send your hips high to the sky. Bend your knees, send your hips high, bend your knees, send your side. So keep thinking sit bones rising and widening, but don't have to move, Kim. Just keep your knees bent and then just feel like you're pushing your hips as high to the sky as you can. Reach, 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 reach. Good, and then press your thighs back to straighten those legs. Good, you guys. Okay, step your left foot back behind you. Inhale your arms to the sky. Good, now reach your torso forward and lay your belly on your front thigh. Good, now push your seat back as wide as you can and lift your little belly a lot. Reach far forward, but push your outer hips back like crazy. Gorgeous, you guys. Now place both hands inside your right foot. Good, maybe even wiggle your left leg back a little bit more. And then do some hip circles here. Good, beautiful. And then go ahead and come to stillness and press your right butt cheek as far to the right as you can. Push it wide. You could even let your right knee fall out if you'd like. Push your right butt cheek back and wide so you're creating space. Almost like you're in a one-legged dog, right? You're pushing your hips back as high as they'll go. Yeah, keep that front knee bent, Carol. Keep it bent. Good, you guys. And then walk your hands to the left. Keep your feet exactly where they are. Walk your hands to the left. So make sure your right foot is still turned straight ahead. Yeah, stay in that lunge of your front foot. Keep that front knee bent, but walk to your left. Yeah. Scoop your low belly. Alana, just keep, yep. There you go. You got it. This is like my practice in the last couple of days. It doesn't always look exactly the way that you're used to practicing, but I'm working to get into those hips. Good, and then walk back to the front of your mat. Send your right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. And then send your right knee forward for pigeon. Now maybe you're going to lay on your back right away and bring that right ankle to that left knee. That's totally cool. Good, now squeeze your knees toward each other. But here's the deal, you guys. You got to press your sit bones wide. You got to pull your little belly up. As you lift from the lowest part of your belly, now widen through your hips as if you're taking your hips and pushing them wide, taking those little sit bones and pulling them wide, and then walk forward, bring your forehead onto the mat. So the third teaching that is very practical for now, that's what I'm pulling out, is these 5 teachings that are very practical for what's happening now in our worlds. Is dharma. It is that universal law or the social obligation that we have to each other to be who we are. You be you and I'll be me. And being yourself is exactly the role we need to play right now. And someone else is going to play a role that might not agree with yours. Remember, everyone is on the stage playing their role, and may the bad guy play their role well. Good. Okay, so as you walk yourself up, and if you're lying on your back, you're going to want to come up to sit. Wrap your left knee in front of you. So bring your left leg forward and wrap your left knee on top of your right knee, or your left shin on top of your right shin, or your left shin in front. So a lot of options, right? So shin on top of shin, shin in front of shin, or you're sitting between your heels. Good. Now here's interesting. Squeeze. Feel like you're squeezing your shins toward each other, but pull your sit bones away from each other. Feel like you're squeezing. So even though you're sitting, some of you are sitting one shin in front of the other. Pull your shins toward each other, but then push your seat back and then lean forward any amount. And if you feel like your knees are super high, maybe investigate if there's some kind of blanket nearby. Good. I have my music playing low here just so I can be listening to. If that's challenging you guys, let me know because I know I have a delay over here. No? Okay, good. Good. And then come on up, downward facing dog. Good. Come forward to plank and lower all the way down to your belly. Rise up into cobra. Open the mouth, stick out the tongue. Ah. Press back into child's pose. And rise back up into downward facing dog. Good. Step your left foot forward. Inhale your arms to the sky. Good. Now reach your arms forward. Let your torso, left foot forward. Arms to the sky. Reach your arms forward. Lay your belly down on your left thigh. Feel your lowest part of your belly lift, so you're rounding slightly on your back and you're pushing your seat back and wide. Beautiful, beautiful. And then place both hands inside. Maybe slide that back leg back just a little bit more and do some hip circles here. What I think is really powerful in our yoga practice is at any time in our evolution, if we go back to the teachings, they are always applicable. Good. Now go ahead and see what happens if you press that left seat as far to the left as you can. You lift it up and wide. And then start to walk your hands more to the right, more to the right. But keep widening that inner left knee. Don't let the knee come with you. Don't let the knee come with you. Keep that inner left knee wide, but you're walking to the right. Scooping that low belly. Yeah, that's it, Jackie. It's really important to keep that left knee wide so you're keeping that sense of space. Maybe even cat-cow here for a moment. Beautiful, you guys. Nice, Marla. Good, and then walk back and take your left leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Good, and then send that left knee forward for pigeon or lie on your back. Good, squeeze those knees toward each other, but press that seat way back, scoop that lowest part of the belly, and then come on forward onto your forehead. I love this song so much. I don't know if you guys are on the same song I am. Good. Keep playing with that hip action. If we can release the outer hips, we can release the low back. That's our hope, right? We can hopefully get into those hamstrings. So samsara, transformation, karma, the action that creates our future. Dharma, how we're socially obligated, our promise that we make to ourselves and to others. And then the fourth is moksha. It is the end of suffering. That return back to the question we always have, do we wish to make it heaven or hell right now? Good, and then walk those hands up, send that back leg forward, send your right leg forward. And you're either gonna stack your right knee on top of your left, or right shin in front of left shin. Good. If you have one shin in front of the other or one shin on top of the other, I need you to flex those feet. If you have one knee on top of the other, you can kind of semi-flex, right? It might not feel great to completely flex. And then come forward any amount. So you're seated. Your right shin is in front of your left, or your right knee is on top of your left. Gomukhasana. Let's breathe deeply, you guys. Widen those outer hips, push them wide, scoop the low belly, squeeze the shins. Yeah, that back body feels full here, lots of breath in the kidneys. Beautiful, everybody. Deep breath in. As you exhale, come on up and press back, downward facing dog. Take it through a vinyasa, plank. Lower down, rise up, open the mouth, stick out the tongue, stretch that jaw. Take it back through child's pose. And then downward facing dog. Good, step that right foot forward, please. Walk to the left until you come to the center of your mat. And then here, I want you just to go side to side, bend your right knee, and then swing over, bend your left knee. Hands are on the floor if you can. If you can't, come on up, that's fine. Maybe if you come to that right side, you can turn your left foot and come up to that left heel. So you're really reaching into that. Yeah, Carol, that's it. Gorgeous. Nice hope. Yep, Alana, you got, ooh, beautiful. Gorgeous. I want to feel that sense of opening in the pelvis. Nice, Martha. Good, and then come back to where both legs are straight and parallel. Clasp your hands behind your back. So we know that our hips and our shoulders are completely, friends. So if the shoulders are tight, often that results in tight hips. So take those arms up and over any amount. Good, now let your left hand come to your right outer ankle. Left hand, outer right ankle. Good, take your right arm to the sky. Good, now I want you to push into that left sit bone, push it super wide. Or let me say it different, that left inner thigh, push it more to the left. Take your right arm closer to your ear. Yeah, and touch down, change sides. So now as my left arm goes up, I gotta take my inner right thigh and move it more to the right. More to the right, more to the right. And then that arm, I wanna reach it just a little bit closer to the ear. Space in that side body. Good. And then hands on your hips, push down through your legs, rise up to stand. Good, let your feet come in just a little bit and then turn your feet wide. Bend your knees deeply. Take your arms overhead, interlace your palms and press straight up. Yeah, knees go wide. Low belly draws in. Good, sit bones go wide. Good. Straighten those legs. Turn the feet parallel to each other. Touch down, hands to the floor. Walk to the front of your mat. Downward facing dog. Vinyasa of choice. Beautiful, everybody. Left foot forward when you're ready. Left foot forward, walk to the right till you come to the center of your mat. And again, go side to side here. Bend one knee and then the other. Maybe do figure eights with your hips. Where are you finding that there's a release happening for you? Even the body as it holds tension, right? That's important in your body. I have a woman who I've been working with for, gosh, I don't know, 18 years. She has MS, she's in a wheelchair, and we need a certain part of that tension so that she can push up to stand at the end of a session that she has with me, right? So that tension in the body, that tension in the world, everything relates back to the world. This body is the world. So we have these things that we're going to push up against for us to evolve, right? Come back to center, you guys. Hands on your hips. Push down through your legs, rise up. Turn your feet in just a little bit and then just turn your feet wide and come into high squat. This time, take arms out to letter T. Feet are turned wide, right? Knees are pointing at second toes. And then let your right forearm come down to your right thigh, left arm over your ear. Yep. And then back to center and change to the other side. But as you're doing this, keep pushing your butt wide, your hips back and wide, low belly drawing in. Good. Go slow. Try to stay in that squat. Good, beautiful, you guys. And then come center. I know it's a lot of squat. Inhale the arms up, interweave the palms, press up. Beautiful, you guys. Straighten the legs, turn the feet forward, bow forward. Good, walk your hands to the front of the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Take it through your vinyasa of choice. Maybe throw in a Vashisthasana, one-handed, stacking one leg on top of the other. Good. Nice, everybody. Gorgeous. All right, from downward facing dog, jump to squat. If squat is really difficult, feel free to stay in chair for a moment. Good. Now either in chair or in squat, right? Reach your arms forward. Good. Now start to slowly lift your seat up, slowly. Slow, slow, slow. As you lift your seat up, lean forward more, and then start to turn your feet parallel to each other. Now go slow, because I need your knees to be bent. You're reaching forward, you're sending your butt way back. Good, now slowly lower your butt back down and try to come back into that squat. Try to see you can start to turn your feet back out, totally fine. And then once again, reach your arms out. Start to lift your seat slowly, slow. Sending your hips back and wide, scoop the low belly. Yeah, and then lower back down to that squat. Oh my goodness. Good, now drop your right arm inside your right knee. Take your left arm and stretch it out. Push into that hand and knee. Nice, Ellen. Good, Lorna. Beautiful, Annette. Good. Change sides. Try the other side. Beautiful, everybody. Come back and lie on your back. Come into happy baby pose. We're going to come back up. Don't worry. I know some of you are like, wow, on our back. Wasn't ready for that yet. Good. Knees are wide, shins are hugging in. You're holding your feet. Okay, now lay your left foot down onto the mat so the knee will stay bent. Place the left foot back down. Keep holding the right like you're in half happy baby. Good. Draw the shin towards you, but widen the knee a lot. And then start resisting with your hand. Keep your hand on that right foot and start to straighten that right leg out to the right, but resist it. You can even push down through your left foot so your left foot stays active. Good, bend it again. This time, place your right foot into your left elbow crease or just hold it with your opposite hand. Flex your foot. You can use your right hand to push away your right knee, but pull your left shin, your right shin towards you. Good. Now, once again, take it into that half happy baby. So place it back in your right hand and start to stretch that right leg towards straight. Push. Doesn't have to go straight. Good. Then rebend it again. This time, start to bring your right arm underneath your right knee over your right shoulder, any amount. Maybe lift up your head. Keep widening that sit bone though. Notice how it gets the sense of tucking under. Don't do that. Push it wide. Scoop your low belly a lot. And then lower your head back down. Release the right foot down to the floor. And pause for just a moment. Good. Left foot into half happy baby. Right foot stays bent. Right knee stays bent. Play with this action where this will take you. How wide would you like to take your knee? How wide would you like to take that shin? And then hug in the shin so there's a sense of stability, tension. Keep feeling the inner thigh go wide, the low back open as much as you can. And then start to press that leg to straight. Go slow. Good, then rebend it. And then send that shin in front of your belly. So you might place your left foot into your inner right elbow crease, or maybe just hold it with your right hand. If you have some kind of a tennis ball, right? I don't mean to go get one now, but if you are feeling like, oh, your low back, your piriformis, right into your butt, you know, if you're feeling sore, you can always, like this right now, what you're doing with little ball underneath your sacrum, right? Your sacrum would feel real good. Good, come back to that half happy baby. Start to once again push that leg to straight so you get, the hamstring stretch. Good, and then rebend it and start to take that shoulder and that knee, so the knee starts to come over that shoulder. Maybe lift your head. Scoop that belly. Beautiful, everybody. And then release the foot, release the head. Keep your knees bent here. So you breathe deeply here. Let the breath be the work that you're doing right now. So the fifth teaching that is there's so many teachings that are exactly what we need today, but the fifth is to remember that you are Atman, a true self that is beyond your ego. It is beyond what somehow your mind has created as right or wrong. Who are we at our most inner core? That is who we seek. The Atman, changeless, everlasting. Okay, hug those knees back into the chest. And then as if you're a lying down frog, take your knees wide. Good. And then take your hands behind your head. Scoop your low belly a lot. Navel in. Lift your head, neck, and chest up. Good. Lower your head back down. And now widen your knees a little bit more. Gorgeous. Again, lift your head, neck, and chest. Good. Lower your head back down. So where are you feeling the abs really connect for you? Where are you feeling abdominals? Are you feeling it when you come up higher? Are you feeling it when you draw your knees in closer or further away from you? So play with that and lift up, engage. Knees closer, knees further. And then let your head come back down. Now take your legs wide, straighten your legs, flex your feet. Again, what happens if you take your legs slightly away from you or towards you? Where's the place that you want to really engage here? Go ahead and lift your head, neck, and chest. Good, lower your head back down. So we're laying on our back right now. Yeah, legs are wide, like an upavista, wide-legged. One more time, see what happens when you lift your head up and you scoop that low belly and then you draw the navel up. But guess what, you guys, the minute you take that navel up, now the lowest part, that sacrum, your pelvic tilt goes, you lose your pelvic tilt. So I need you to take your sit bones wide even here. And then go ahead and wrap your right knee on top of your left knee and lower your head back down. Good, now squeeze your shins toward each other like crazy, like crazy. Squeeze your shins toward each other, but pull your inner thighs apart. Now lift your head back up. And then play with moving your knees away from you and pulling your knees towards you. So your knee on top of knee instead of ankle to knee here, Ronnie. There you go. That's it, Carol. Head up, pull in, release that. Nice, Angela. Good. And then re-wrap, so other knee on top. Nice, Mel. Nice, Sydney. Good. Do it again. Pull the knees in, draw them out, lift the head up. Good, Allison. Yeah, Heidi, you guys got this. More. Good. Squeeze those shins toward each other. Widen those inner thighs a lot. And relax down. Bring your feet down. This is my love song with Marin, by the way. Oh, you guys might not be on the same song, though. I don't know. So you can choose which one it is. Good. Hug those knees back into your chest. Okay, roll up to squat. I think all of you should have a love song with me. I wonder what it would be. Send me what our love song would be. I want to know. Good. And then standing forward bend. I love that, Tony. That was such a great stretch right there. Good. Now I want you to come into Ardha Chandrasana here. So I want you to take your left leg up to the sky. Inhale the left leg up. And then start to stack the left hip on top of the right hip. Take the left arm up to the sky. And then reach back for your ankle, maybe. Now watch what's going to happen in that right sit bone. That right seat's going to kind of cave forward and in. You got to pull it back and wide. Scoop that low belly a lot. Beautiful. All right, release that down, standing forward bend. Good, inhale the right leg up. So go slow. What happens when the hips open? What happens with that left outer hip? It's gonna start to move forward and collapse, so you gotta pull it back. Like I can see my little thumb drawing your left hip crease back. Maybe reach back for that ankle. Nice, Amy. Beautiful. And then standing forward bend. Nice. Bend your knees, reach your arms forward and up, chair. Gorgeous, Lorna. Come all the way up to stand, hug your left knee into your chest. Left ankle on top of right knee, sit back to chair. Flex that foot, come on. Left foot flexes, pull those toes back. Good, now reach down and take that foot and that knee and lift up so the shin comes back up toward the belly button. Good, now put that left foot into the left hand and bring it out to a half frog. Now take that left butt cheek back more. Good, and then try to push into your hand to straighten that leg. And you don't have to straighten it, just start to feel that happening. Breathe it. Good, lower that back down. Beautiful, you guys. Nice. Take your right knee into your chest. Good, ankle to knee, sit back. I like this first because it gives you the feeling of spreading that lowest part of your back, widening. And then lean down and pick up that foot and that knee. Hand that foot to your right hand. Take the inner groin way back. And then start to push that either to half frog or lifting up and straightening that leg. Beautiful, nice, Ellen. Yep. And then lower that back down. Nice, Nancy. Good. And then take your left knee back up again. And this time you're going to wrap your left knee on top of your right knee for eagle. Left knee on top of right. Sit back. Right elbow on top of left. Squeeze your arms, but then widen the armpits. So even here, I need the widening, the pulling apart. Squeeze your shins, but pull apart your inner thighs. And breathe here. That looks really good, everybody. And then rise up, keep breathing, and change sides. Eagle on the second side. Watch that your hips don't turn here. Keep your hips square. The front of your mat. Good. Inhale, come on up. Interweave your palms, press straight up. Good. And then go ahead and take your left wrist. Hold on to your left wrist with your right hand and take a side stretch to the right. Push down through those legs. Come back to center, switch sides. Pull, get this whole side. And I also, the side body long, I also want you to breathe into those upper outer ribs. Good. Inhale back to the ceiling. Exhale, bow forward. And then take it through a vinyasa and finally rest in child's pose for a moment. I love Ram Dass. Okay, I didn't bring my glasses, did I? Yikes. All right, let's see if I can read this without my glasses. Yes, I can. So he's talking about dealing with change, but I also like this as each one of us might have a different response to what this person did. So an older man is walking down the street and he hears a voice saying, "Psst, could you help me out? Psst, could you help me out?" He looks around, he doesn't see anybody. Again, he hears, "Psst, could you help me out?" He looks down and there's a giant frog and he's embarrassed. I mean, you just don't talk to frogs, but he says, "Did you just speak to me?" And the frog says, "Yes. Could you help me out?" "What's the problem?" he says. "I'm under a curse. If you pick me up and kiss me, I'll turn back into a beautiful maiden, and I'll serve you and cook for you and warm your bed, and I'll be everywhere you ever wanted, everything you've ever wanted." The man stood there for a little while. He picked up the frog, he put the frog in his pocket, and he walked on. After a while, the frog said, "Hey, you forgot to kiss me." And the man said, "You know, at my age, I think it's more interesting to have a talking frog." I think some of us might have kissed the frog instead. Good. Walk your upper body to the right. Get a side stretch here. And walk your upper body to the left. Good. Come back to center. Downward facing dog. Stepping your right foot forward, open up to Virabhadrasana 2. Go deep into your seat. Let your seat drop low, very low, but pull up through your spine. Make it long. Nice, Kristen. And then find triangle pose. Reach straight into that right leg. And in triangle pose, see what you can do to open this body, relaxing and opening into the low back. Watch how you're holding your head and neck. Be aware of that. Nice. Good. Release that left hand down to the floor. Turn over that front foot, right? And then step your back foot in just a little and turn it deeply forward. Right, so both legs are straight. So you're bowing over your front leg. Yep. You still have your right leg forward, same leg. Going to be aware of both inner thighs pulling wide. Remember when you were taking your knee over your shoulder, right? You're widening that space. Remember when you were squatting. Can you find your squat here? Good. Downward facing dog. Vinyasa of choice or none. Beautiful. Nice, Sharon. Yep. Nice, Susan. Great, Jen. All right, left foot forward, Vera 2. How deeply can you sit into your seat here? Nice, Maren. Yep. Good. Here we go. Good. Straighten that leg. All right, so I'm still asking us to widen the space of that lowest part of the back so we cannot be clenching. And then take it forward, triangle pose, hand on block or ankle. And you're breathing here. Gorgeous, you guys. And then release the hands down, frame the front foot. You're going to step that right foot in just a little bit and turn it straight forward so your hips are square and both legs are straight. You did a squat, and so there's a widening happening. You're going to do that feeling here, so you're widening, maybe even rounding into your back a little bit here. Keep breathing. The Mandukya Upanishad. Mandukya means the frog, and why would an Upanishad be a frog? Because it's about jumping into the unknown for safety. For safety. If you scare or startle a frog, it jumps into the murky water, doesn't know what's going to be under that water, just jumps in for safety. Step back, downward facing dog. So we're jumping into the unknown in front of us, and we have the tools. Come forward to plank, lower down to your belly, reach back for your ankles. We have the tools of yoga to allow us to stay in this space. It doesn't rob our energy from us. And mark my words, things are going to be continuing to want us to be judgmental and critical and pointing fingers. Go ahead, lift those knees, lift those shoulders, pull back. If you're feeling extra spicy, go ahead and rock forward and back, massaging your abdominal, your organs. Hi, puppies. If you're really feeling spicy, roll forward and back and do breath of fire. Good, and then release, relax your head down. Very nice, you guys. Samsara, transformation. You're wandering through this lifetime, transforming yourself in every breath. Flip over onto your back. You're either going to take your legs to the sky or come into shoulder stand. If you have a blanket and would like to put a blanket underneath your shoulders, remember if you have a blanket and you're using it, don't put it underneath your head. I want your head to be on your mat and the shoulder blanket underneath your shoulders if you're using a blanket. Otherwise, just take the legs up to the sky. Good. Once you've arrived in shoulder stand, if you're taking it, make sure that you're looking straight up to your toes. Press your head back. Let there be a little bit of space between your chin and your chest. Allison, just make sure that blanket isn't underneath your head. Yeah, there you go. Good, and then take variations here, maybe eagle legs, maybe come into plow pose, maybe Hanumanasana, split the legs, one leg toward the floor, one leg toward the ceiling. Go slow with breath. I'm going to be starting something in June. My son, many of you know he's home now, which is really beautiful. And we're going to start something called Breakfast Epiphanies. So every day I'm going to post something on Instagram, whether it is something to do with a mantra or something to do with food that we're eating, asana, gratitude. Every day in June I'll be posting something on Instagram, so make sure that you're on my Instagram with me. Breakfast Epiphanies. Good. And then slowly work yourself back down. And then if you're going to roll up and take headstand, so nicely roll right up and come into headstand. If you're not going to do headstand, then I'm going to suggest you do either a child's pose or you can stay on your back and keep your legs in the sky. That's fine too. Maybe a downward dog, maybe a forearm dog, right? If you're not going to come into headstand. And again, if you're just learning headstand, maybe now's not the time since I'm not there watching exactly what you're doing. That's nice, Lauren. Yep, you do wide leg prostrate to Padottanasana. Yep, you can come into just a forward bend. You guys are all doing it though. I don't need to give you suggestions. You're doing what you want to do right now. Perfect. If you don't know what to do, just wave at me and I'll give you a suggestion. Everybody is going to be opening in their own way. You know, I have a lot to think about over here at Naturally Yoga. My inner instincts are not to open too soon, even when we're given the okay to do that. And some people are going to agree and some people aren't going to agree. And I can hold space for all of that. But if you're coming out of your headstand, come into child's pose maybe. And then everybody make their way out of your inversion. Lie on your back, hug your knees into your chest. What I was talking about last week, do you have the courage to belong to yourself? Which might mean you have to stand alone. And give that permission to everyone to do that. You be you and I'll be me. Good, twisting, let your hips shift to the right, let your knees drop to the left. And then come back up and switch sides. And then in your own readiness, prepare for Shavasana. Maybe if you'd like to, the last song that's on the playlist is the Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Maybe you want to go ahead to the last song for your Shavasana. Begin to deepen your breath. Let your body begin to stretch and yawn in any way that serves you well. If you're lying on your back, go ahead and roll to your right side. Come on up to sit. Remember, the world will divide. It's up to us how we unite. Bring your hands together at your heart center. With that promise to yourself. And together, come back to what is real, what is true, what is infinite. And in this moment, may we know that each and every being, including ourselves, matter. Inhale for the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Setting your hands to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Unmute now.